Hello, Jaguars, parents, and guardians. Today's video is going to be over multiplying and dividing fractions and whole numbers. When we are multiplying or dividing a fraction by a whole number, the first thing we must do is turn the whole number into a fraction without changing its value. The only way we can do that is by placing a 1 underneath the whole number. Everything else will stay the same. When we multiply straight across. 8 times 1 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. I can see that I have an improper fraction. The fraction bar means to divide. 8 divided by 2. Can 2 evenly divide into 8? Yes, it can. It can divide into 8 4 times. So 8 times 1/2 is 4. 2 times 1/3. I must make the whole number into a fraction without changing its value. So I'm going to put a 1 underneath the whole number. When we multiply fractions, we multiply straight across. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. This is a proper fraction and it cannot be simplified. Therefore, 2 times 1/3 is 2/3. Now we're going to move into division. And we must do the same thing when we're dividing. We must turn the whole number into a fraction without changing its value. So we put a 1 underneath it. And one thing we must be aware of as fifth graders is that we cannot divide any rational number by a fraction or a decimal. We either have to move the decimal to make it a whole number, or we must change the operation and the fraction. That is called the reciprocal. We're going to get the reciprocal or opposite operation. Opposite of division is multiplication. And then we have to get the reciprocal of the second fraction. That means we put the bottom number on top and the top number on the bottom. We rewrite our new problem. Now we have a multiplication problem. 6 times 5 is 30. 1 times 1 is 1. 30 over 1 is improper. 30 divided by 1 is 30. We call this strategy right here, where we got the reciprocal operation and the reciprocal fraction, we call this the switch and flip. We switch the operation to multiplication and we flip the second fraction. So if we have 1/3 divided by 8, the first thing we will do is we will make the 8 a fraction without changing its value. That means we will put a 1 underneath the 8. Now we will switch and flip. We switch to multiplication and we flip the second fraction. Always the second fraction. Always, always, always the second fraction. Rewrite our problem and multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 8 is 24. Therefore, 1/3 divided into 8 is 1/24. Jaguars, parents, and guardians, that is how we multiply and divide fractions.